This time, as I promised, the last 12 times, for sure, 100%, 1,000%, um, going to the moon. Yes. Well, we're gonna fly by it at least, and like wave at it as we go past the window. Um, and then that should give us enough science to build the stuff to let us go and actually land on the moon. So that's them goals today, I believe. Uh, so, kind of just looking at what we have right now. I think we might be able to get this, but there's nothing in this at all, so maybe not at all. Um, so really have nothing to get or buy or anything like that, fortunately. I think the next goal, especially after this trip, would probably either be these solar panels, even though they're just like single plane nothings. Because I don't think there's these are mods that just I don't have, so it doesn't matter. But I think probably one of these solar panel packs would probably be the next thing we get. It'll also give us some cool satellite parts, and then we can start working heavily on maybe making a comm network around the planet to set up to land on the moon. And then we'll probably grab these like Earth-based. What these are basically like your Kerbals, put them out. They set up little experiments. So there's that. What we really need is, landing gear. But more importantly, I gotta find where they moved the upgraded capsule, because when we go, I want to take, it's probably here. Yeah, when we go, I want to take more than just, here it is. Yeah, here's the command pod. Here's the lander. So when we go to the moon, I want to take both the pilot and a scientist, so we can really maximize the amount of crap we get. That's cool. There's a new station part. Here's the first lander. It just has one person in it, just like the first capsule. I mean, we could just build a like lander rocket and then just like land Kerbal style on the moon. But I think it's cooler to do a like Apollo kind of thing when you land on the moon. Is this the one? Which one? Maybe it's this guy. This looks like he will not do anything, so I think it's this one. Let's take a look real quick at this rocket that I have, because it may or may not be anything. Hello everyone, welcome to the Twitch chat. I think, what is this looking at? 5,000? This is like bare minimum, and I don't even know if it will make it. Like that's like pushing it, honestly. So we'll see. I don't really know what I could do given the limitations that we have, because I think I'm already pushing. No, I'm not pushing it. I think I'm just being a cheap ass about it. I guess realistically what we could do, this is all one stage. Yeah, this is the transfer stage / return stage. I guess what we could do, I should probably extend this by about that much, and that should give us maybe a good extra 100. Yeah, that gives about 200 extra. That might just be enough. I don't know, it feels too heavy. Let's just go with a little bit more. Come on, come on. Okay, this. Let's just launch this. This should be fine. It's gonna fall over. It's gonna fall right over. I didn't fix the boosters. Uh, instant failure is what's gonna happen. Oh, nope. It spawned weird. Okay, cool. What do we got? We got Jeb. Jeb will be fine. Let's check the staging real quick. Yeah, main stage to onion staged. Okay. Rocket. Okay. Parachutes. Okay. Let's go to about quarter thrust here, just to speed us along. Okay. And... yeah. It might actually be overall better to have all four of them go off at once. If we do another launch, I think that's what I'll do. Is do all four of them at once. Alright, start our gravity turn now. Kerbal gibberish. Alright, let's try and hold it here. What is our... We're already at 1,000. That's pretty good. And we have... I mean, this still has a half tank here. 2,000 to get there. This should be... barely enough. I mean, again, we're just trying to do a little flyby. But I really think this will probably be enough to do that. So we're going to go angle ourselves to the horizon a little bit. Minute tap WAPC, so we'll just kind of... There we go, we're in space. And then we'll just slowly burn a little bit here. Drop this thrust down just a tad, because we just want to slowly go over time. We want to really preserve this fuel flow. About 1 second here, so that's not too bad. We don't need too much pumping out. We are already in space. Good. Got to get this to 70-ish. And so that will go back, burn up in the atmosphere, and then we'll just keep continuing along with this little stage. We might have to make a third. No, I think this will be enough. But we'll definitely need to upgrade the pad and the VAB before we can even think about making a lander. Because we're only going to have 30 parts. That's just not quite enough to do what we're going to need to do. And we are in a officially orbit. So we'll pop that. Oh. I guess we already had a MUN mission going on. I kind of forgot because it's been like 4 or 5 days. Let's hop over to this mission. This one's obviously Valentina. And she is on her way. Clearly missed. Huh. That's unfortunate. Maybe I should have checked the Hootenanny before I did this. She's gonna miss the MUN by quite a bit, unfortunately. Wonder if I can maybe catch it. Might be able to catch it. Hang on. Let's fiddle with this for a few seconds here. What's it look like incline-wise? Okay. Do it a little later. Here. No. We had to do it as soon as we can. Alright. There we go. Gives us a little tiny periapsis there, but that might be enough. Let's pop it just a tad. Just a tad. A little more of course adjustment there. No. Okay, that's too much. And then that puts us where? At about a trillion miles away. Okay, cool. That's pretty good. That will still count as approaching the MUN, really, honestly. Approach. Is it, but which one is it on? Because there's 3 different. So this is what, 8 days. This is 1 day. 12 days. So we'd have to loop twice to get this interaction. This 8 days. What's this? 1 day, and then it loops back around. 2 days from now, it'll be on. There we go. So, what's this at? This will be 6 days from now. Huh. Six days. Pretty good. This is actually pretty. And then that moves us. Okay, beautiful. That's well, we recovered that, I guess, in a way. Burning in about 6 minutes. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do with Jeb then. I guess we could just put him out real far and then land him, and then he can just get the experience from that. So 6 minutes from now. Should have really checked before I went willy-nilly. A little bit of a course adjustment here. I like this. this is actually pretty... 6 days we'll be here. This is actually pretty cool. I do like this a little bit here. Of course. Let's fix that just a tad. Alright. There we go. So in 6 days we'll be there. Alright, let's go futz with Jeb. What Jeb could do is use his... because he's got a bunch of science projects on his craft as well. So we could just do a little more... where... I could have swore last time I got a bigger control facility so I could actually jump outside. But I guess not. No science to be had anywhere at all in any of these. I might have to go... I mean, we can get like half a science. Really squeeze it. I know we didn't do this one though, so this is... Let's see if this is worth it. If it's... No, it's only 10. I could have swore... okay, so we do have EVA. Well, I mean, it honestly can't hurt to do 2 quick passes around the month. Like, what we could do, actually... this is crazy. We should try this. So Valentine will go to the Mun, and Jebediah will go to Minmus. We'll just get both those massive science buffs from those 2. So one craft for 2 different places. It's pretty good. Alright, that's pretty close. That's not bad. That's actually pretty decent. Let's see if we can shift it a little closer. Yeah, we can get hella close to the Minmus. Just like a tiniest bit. 800. That's... What would that put us down back over at? Come here. There we go. And that will put our periapsis pretty high, actually. But we could do when we get up to here, we can do like a little control burn. That way we can hit the atmosphere and that will slow us down. And we might have to do like 2 big loops. But it'll be fine. He'll be okay. He'll come back eventually. If anything, we'll just shoot him out of the sky and then he'll be home. So this will be, I mean, 6 days as well. 9 days, 8 days. So about 8 days. We want to do a burn right about here. So in a day, we're going to do a burn. I totally forgot to get... Oh, here it is, alarm clock. Okay, so we're going to make 1 alarm. Jeb. Incline. Burn. And add alarm. Oop, okay, so... Oh, wait, not this one. We want... How do we change the maneuver nodes? Stand by, I gotta mess with, do I just select? Nope. Okay, well I guess I can do this. 1 day, 4 hours. 1 day, 4 hours. Alright. Oh, okay. There, so that will tell us when we gotta do that burn, because we're probably gonna be fixing this up when that occurs. And where is 15 minutes until that. So, skirt. Add one more. Maneuver arm. Path burn. 6 seconds. Message. Kill time warp. Okay, cool. Alrighty, and then. Whoa. Come here. Stop. Thank you. Alright, let's burn. And okay. Here we go. It should automatically kill, so I don't screw up again. Alright, good. And let's line, close that. And this will be like a 30-second burn, so we'll just let that flow out. If anything, this is going to be good experience for our 2 pilots, so we could use either or on the future landing mission. Alright. Not too bad. We're gonna... 40,000. So we will do this node over here. This will clean up the orbit a little bit. Wow, we'll have a Munda counter on our way over there, so that'll launch us over. Okay. Yeah, so when we get here, we'll make a little incline adjustment to match the plane of Mimas. Just because once you get out here, the amount of potential energy that you have is a little higher. On top of that, it also allows you to it costs less to change your incline the further away you are from the forces and influences of a celestial body. So we'll do that out here. It'll be a little cheaper in terms of fuel usage to fix this incline, and then that we need to go this way. Nope, we need to go this way. And then that will put us a little closer. And yeah, a little more. Yeah, that's pretty. That's nice and pretty. And we can actually kill just a tad to get a little closer. Yeah, that's gonna be good. And then that will actually drop us down a little lower on our periapsis, so we'll have to burn even less. Literally, just for 9 meters per second of delta V, we'll get a closer, prettier orbit and have a better return to Kerbin. So it all works out for the best, I think. Wow, the game just wants to be loud as fuck for some reason. Alright, there we go. So there's that. So that's happening. Real quick, what I'm going to do is... let me turn this off so we're not just wasting electricity. And then, are we far enough away? Override. Okay, it's not gonna matter. And then, real quick, what we should do is head back to the Space Center and probably we're gonna do something crazy. We're gonna put we're gonna put we're gonna build like the same rocket that we used to send everyone into orbit, but we're gonna put one of these probes on it, right? And we're gonna shove a tourist into it, and we're gonna make money off this guy. That's kind of sort of the idea. Now, that experiment was pretty simple. They both just need a suborbital space flight and orbit around Kerbin. Didn't I need both of them? Well, I'm gonna try to just send the one. Let's see what comes out of it. So I'm just gonna take this one because this was the last successful orbiter. And then we're gonna pop this parachute off, pop this mystery cube off, pop off all the science experiments, pop all the science experiments off. It's a drag chute. Throw on this guy. Batteries that we could possibly need, and then we're going to throw on an actual parachute. Just safety is everyone's concern. We'll just pop that on, and I feel like we can get away with putting more batteries on. Certain batteries, because we're going to need active connection the entire trip. And that's going to take a lot of energy. And then flights, and hopefully that will fulfill the requirements for this, because this is a lot of money. And I want to get this one knocked off. That way we can quickly go back to the Mission Control Center and pick up that mission for doing a flyby Minmus, and then we'll get stuff from that too. I think that's the overall grand strategy of the programming. Alright, just what I thought. This antenna doesn't start activated, so let's pop back to the assembly. And then, did we have, we do. So this little launch stabilizer will count as it will count as having radio connection for the probe. And then let's make sure we have what we want in here. Get out of there. And rod free, get in there. And then now it's too many parts, so let's kill one of these batteries off. Alright. Literally, like, as much as I can shove onto this thing. It should get it... I mean, it'll definitely get it to a suborbital. And then we will call this... Tourist... Fun time... Go... Ride. Yeah. We'll call that the... Tourist... Whatever, that's fine. Perfect. That's what it's called. Tourist Fin Time. Because it's a fin time, guys. All the fins on it. When I get more part count, I should just add like 9 stabilizer fins onto it. Okay. So I should have control of it still. And that means I can activate this guy. It should be... I don't know why it's not connected. Did they change something? Like, dramatically change something in how the satellites work? Because this one should just be on, and it should just connect automatically to the station. Where is... Trajectories. Kerbal State Spanner, frequency 0, edit. Let's just add 100, add. Do I have to make a constellation? Okay. Public broadcasting, right, edit, 0. Comment vessels. Wait, so why is this not... Here, let's pop this up. CNN. Revert to public. It is public. Well, we can put it on 101. Revert to public. Public broadcasting. Okay. What is happening? Why won't it connect? Well, that's frustrating. That's so silly. What's going on? Bum 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 bum. I wonder if maybe I have to set it as... I guess maybe that's what I have to do. Maybe I'll have to set it as... a satellite in the VAB. Maybe that's what I have to do. Oops. Switch back. Thank you. Alright. Should be... Where did they move that to? Hate this button. I love it, but I also hate it. So maybe... out the main part, so maybe that will help. It's also overweight somehow. Oh, it's because I'm in the fucking space plane hangar. There we go. Doesn't have any connecting spaces. So this is now the control point. This should just work. Like, it should just work. I don't know why it's not. It's not like the antenna is out of range. The radio is literally right next to it. Purple net access. There we go. Okay, so it is offline for some reason. Okay. I think the problem is oh, here we go. Yes. Antenna type. Hibernation, yeah. It's not getting any comm signals, and I don't know why. Oh, and yeah, my keyboard froze again. So, well, that's it for this, I guess. This will probably be the last time I play KSB until I can figure out what the is happening with the controls getting locked out. It's probably a mod that's causing the problem, and I bet you more than anything it's the stupid ComNet mob, which I didn't even realize I had installed. But I'll get that worked out later. But that's really all for today, I guess. Unless you guys want to talk mad shit about flat earthers, which we could talk mad shit about flat earthers. That's technically space. These assholes. Well, they're not even assholes. There's this so there's this micro group called. I probably shouldn't be talking about them because they'll probably just cause issues. But there's this cool little micro group called Station, and essentially what they are is just trolls that go around and sneak their way into different flat Earth groups. And a lot of people are saying they're just purposely attempting to come on. They're just there to cause shit, just stir up shit and stuff. And it's hilarious because they're just bad at it. They're not really even good trolls in the first place. But then some of them are pretty good. Like at first I thought they were just gonna be boring, boring idiots. But then some of them really caught me by surprise, and they pulled out some good insults on me that I just was not expecting. So I gotta give them credit. I gotta give them credit for actually baiting me well. So good job to Station for being expert bait. Let's see. Let's just dig around on this one. This one is Flat Earth, rest in peace. Oh, we're not gonna find shit in here. This one is just a bunch of globe heads, basically just waiting for someone to walk into a trap. We ain't gonna find crap here. We should go. I wonder. I haven't been. Where is it? I wonder if I finally got banned from that group. Is this one it? They might have really actually have banned me, because I have not seen a post from. I have not seen a post from these guys in so long. Maybe it disappeared. No, I'm still in. Okay. Oh, they changed admin. Apparently, okay, so obviously the admin got destroyed and had to make an alt account. because that's new. This is great. We talk a lot about level and how like the fact that sea level just so their idea is that water always finds its level, quote unquote, right? And then because water always finds its level and the ocean is 75 the earth is 75% ocean, that just means that clearly the earth is level. But what Jojo is stored in the balls. Uh uh and if you look up the definition of level, I love this. It cracks me up. Come on, I cannot fucking type lately. Anyways, so flat earthers love to use this definition, right? A horizontal plane or line with respect to distance given below to a given point, right? Because they really want to focus on horizontal, uh, or staying flat or even surface without slopes or bumps, right? But when you get into it, eventually you're going to find there's a very good definition of level in which, when it applies to liquids, it's straight up just means to. Oh, where is it? It's like the third one down. The problem with the English language, I mean, it's not even a problem. What I love, absolutely love about the English language is that not only can one word have multiples of meanings, but you could say the same thing using multiple words. But also at the same time, the problem with English is the same word can have 20 different freaking definitions, and level is one of those like gotcha words that they really like to use. I mean, it literally can mean so many different things. And one of the definitions of level, when it applies to liquid, if I can freaking find it, uh, level liquid. When it applies to liquid, it literally means to conform to the curvature of the Earth. So it cracks me up when these flat earthers are constantly going, um, this is sometimes Google really, really just provides, and sometimes Google is a dick. Um, it just cracks me up how they really, really, really push the concept of level, but level doesn't it doesn't 100% mean flat. It has so many different meanings, man. Words are hard. English is difficult. English is my first language, and I can't speak it or spell or type. Uh, which is ironic because I work in the communications industry. So it's like, shit, man, you would think I'd be better at this. Um, I know I've talked about Courtney before. This man is, he is a gift, an absolute gift. He will post, here, you'll see, non-stop. One, two, three, four. I bet you almost all seven of these, yep. Non-stop just pictures, and it's funny. I don't think he actually vets these because a third of them are memes made to specifically give demonstrable evidence of the curvature, and the other third of them is crap that is misconstrued to show false evidence of not curvature, and it's just like, ugh, it's so good. These guys are idiots. I love it. I love this one. This is a new one. Did I talk about? Okay, so someone earlier had posted a Times journal from 1876, um, and straight up was an article about the flat Earth, and word for word, it explained every single argument that the flat earthers still use today, and all the counter arguments that we still bring up today, with the exception of satellites, because obviously satellites did not exist in 1876, nor did, you know, airplanes. Uh, and so it's just hilarious that, like, every single new piece of technology that comes out clearly and demonstratively proves that, you know, the Earth is a sphere, and these idiots just New con man every single day, just coming out of the ground. They're like orcs, man. Uh, he's like orcs. They just get produced out of the mud-filled factories. You know what I mean? Just they get birthed. Um, but this was I'm not gonna read it because it's literally like a book. I read bits and pieces of this earlier, but oh man, I would say like 20% of it is just this same bull crap. But it was really interesting to read this one because it was literally from a flat earther from 1906, and he's talking about like, oh man, if we had fucking airships, you know, you would see that the magnetical north will always be pointing to magnetical north because even on a flat Earth, that's where the magnetic center is. And it's like, listen, man, magnets need two poles, a north and a south. So it's like, come on now, a compass can only work on a spherical body. It can't work without this south pole. Like it needs that south pole. A compass doesn't point in one direction. Technically, a compass points in two directions. It points at the North Pole at the same exact time it's pointing at the South Pole. And we just like to mark the North Pole with a red. So it doesn't matter which direction you're really looking at. As long as you know that, oh, that's north and that's south, you just have to differentiate between that. If you didn't mark the needle on a compass, you'd be very confused. You would never know which way it's pointing because it'd be pointing north and south simultaneously. And it's just how, a magnetical field works. Which cracks me up because it's hard to give an exact number or a percentage on how many flat earthers will propose the concept of the electric Earth, which, oh man, that's some beauty. So one of the things that I talked about before, and I will talk about again and again because it is a major talking point, is the fact that these guys absolutely do not believe in gravity. They think gravity is made up, right? And a lot of them will replace gravity with density and buoyancy, which is ironic because one of the factors in buoyancy is the force of gravity. And another camp will recognize the folly in that, and they will present the idea that Earth lives in this like electrified magnetic field, which I mean, in one sense is true, but not in the sense that they presume, right? And the fact that everything stays to the ground or falls down towards the center of the ground is because it's electrically charged and magnetized. Electromagnetism is their replacement for gravity. Uh, that quickly falls apart if you understand anything about electricity and magnetism, and you understand anything about the concepts of resistance and conductivity, and how some objects have a tendency to be more attracted to other objects, and how some things like plastic just don't give a shit about electrical currents, where other things like metal are heavily influenced by electric currents. So it's like, y'all are idiots. Y'all some dumb motherfuckers to try and pull that shit out on us. Um, there's a huge group of people who think that mountains and are just giants, which I mean I don't blame them. They do look kind of like I mean we pull out some cool. What search term could I use to trick Google into showing me some dumb conspiracy stuff? Mountain are giants. Ah, perfect. And I mean they'll talk about they'll pull like pictures like this, right? Which at one end, to some people, this definitely looks like a person, right? You can kind of see the shape, but at the other end, it's like it's just rocks. It's literally just rocks. It's just rocks. It's just rocks. Like the human imagination is wild. This is just rocks. You know, we're literally programmed to see patterns. We're hardwired to see patterns, to see faces and objects that just do not exist. And it's just wild. I know you guys know the name for it, but I forget what it's called. Uh, it starts with a P, right? Um, but that's my point. There's a lot of people who would propose that, and they don't necessarily 100% belong to the flat Earth. It's so weird because the flat Earth conspiracy takes from all groups of different woo woo, right? Like they'll grab from the uh, the uh, the anti-vax, and they'll grab from the moon landing conspiracists, and they'll grab from the reptilians, and they'll grab for the thank you, pareidolia. I ain't pronouncing that again. Let's have Google pronounce it for me. Technology's great. Like, why do anything ever when you could just have pareidolia? Yeah, I said it right. Cool. Uh, yeah, but it's just like, the tendency to recognize patterns in something that's just not there. And it's just like it's really amazing how much the human imagination affects everything we do. Um, Earlier on my Facebook, I talked about the placebo effect and how there's a really cool study, and you could watch if you have YouTube Red. I highly recommend watching um, Mind, Mindscape, Mind. It's basically the guy who did Vsauce got money from YouTube to make like a real YouTube show, and it's really cool. And one of the episodes they did was there's this study on the placebo effect, and they straight up like gathered all these kids, and they just continuously told these kids, listen, everything we're doing has no medical benefit whatsoever. And these kids had like certain tics and behavioral issues that they were trying to solve. Like one of them had constant headaches, another one couldn't stop chewing on things. And so they ran like fake tests. They made them run, and they measured their heartbeats when they ran, and then they put them through a deactivated MRI machine. The machine was completely deactivated, and when they went through the machine, they played an audio file that made it sound like the machine was working. But there was no internals in the machine. All it did was move the bed underneath it, and then they played an audio file, and they had some lights that would go on and off. And they would tell the kids continuously, hey, this machine is fake. It does not work. Absolutely nothing about this experiment is real. And they found that the kids would still receive positive benefits from the treatment and would still like work on their actions and get better. And they would still say that the treatment helped them. And then that same group just recently got a bigger budget and switched onto evaluating adults, and they did pretty much the same thing, where they continuously told the adults, this is a placebo, absolutely nothing about this experiment will change you in any way, shape, or form. And they still had positive results. And there's a lot more studies that will come out and get pushed out about the placebo effects. And it's been known for a while that the placebo effects have a strong tendency to make a person believe one thing or another. But now there's even stronger, solid, credible evidence that suggests that the placebo effect can override almost anything. The human imagination is very scary in how much it can just force any rational, logical human being into believing anything. And there's even a lot of studies done to evaluate the intelligence and logical quotient of a person and their susceptibility, that word, to joining a cult. And basically, you could be incredibly intelligent, and you can even understand the inner workings of a cult and how they recruit and trick people and basically gather new members, and you could still 100% fall for a cult. In fact, it almost makes it worse. Being too smart almost makes you even more susceptible to believing false information. So it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, it doesn't matter how much you think you are a rational person, and it really doesn't matter how much you prepare yourself before you go into engaging with any cult. They can easily trick you. The human brain is hardwired to believe lies. And it's kind of scary in a way that almost all information given to you at any point in time could just be false, and you will absolutely 120% believe it. And you could even try and go out and look at the sources and backtrack the data, and you will still be more likely to believe the first lie presented to you. So, I mean, it's real interesting when you try and pursue truth and try and be quote unquote open minded. Like, it's almost a pitfall in and of itself. So I guess what you got to do is really wonder, what do you do, right? Like, what is kind of sort of the answer to that? And all it really can do is just be vigilant and willing to accept new information the second you're presented it, and not like devote 100% to anything, and just kind of sort of be ready to switch off of those ideals, you know. And this is kind of sort of why I enjoy delving into these dumb conspiracy theories, is because for the most part it reminds you and reaffirms you some of the basics of the sciences and maths, you know, because even then science, like the scientific method, is there in order to distill a fact, right? Like, it is almost foolproof in the sense that you need to have some sort of observational evidence, and then you need to go and submit it and have other people look at it and then tell you what you got wrong. And then it requires you to then go back to stage one and make sure that what you found wasn't just a fluke, or wasn't just your bias getting in the way. So, you know, it's exactly why the scientific method was written as it was, and kind of why I have very little faith in anything, really, honestly. You can't even really trust data when data is given to you. You kind of have to just listen to what the majority of people who spend a majority of their time on a given subject. And honestly, at the end of the day, you just have to have absolute faith in another human being. And I think that's kind of beautiful in the sense that, like, we absolutely cannot survive on our own. That we need to trust another person at some point in time in our lives. We have to trust other people to be just as honest as we try to be to them. And, you know, I think people put their trust in the wrong people sometimes, but that's just how it goes, man. So that's 30 minutes of me bitching about flat earthers and talking about science. Um, I don't know what to do now. I'm definitely thirsty as fuck. I drank all my water already. I have 2 big cups that I keep on the side, and that's already gone. So, I'm gonna go get some more water real quick, and then, yeah, I'm definitely amateur, and I'm definitely thirsty as fuck. Um, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm gonna. I'll leave you with. I'll leave you with this.
Fighting God! 祈るよりもただ求められるのは前へと進む心 けたあの空の星を捕まえるんだ誰も知らない未来で揺るぎない絆と傷だらけの覚悟をまた抱きしめて歩き出そうファイティング光を放て全てを塗りつぶせ情熱の
Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I straight up. There was a period a while back where all I did was listen to the JoJo themes. Literally, this video right here, 34 minutes of just all 9 of the JoJo themes. It was great. We can talk about JoJo for hours. Do you guys want to watch? Here, let me. Real quick, twitchtv.com. I've been playing a lot of grand strategy games lately. It's kind of sort of what I enjoy. And lately I've been playing. How do I make you a mod? Because you can change my you could change my genre on the fly. Do I have to do it from here, or is it from? Oh, it's actually from here. Hang on, contents, rule managers. You're just Beerens, right? Why did it should just show? I'm gonna complain about Twitch for like 20 minutes. No, I'm fine. Oh, all right. That'll just go back to. Oh my gosh. From the chat room itself. Ba ba ba. Da 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 da. Da na 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 na. Da na 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 na. Fighting God. Bloody Stream's fine. That's actually kind of my least favorite one, though. My favorite one is Trader's Requiem. That's my favorite one. And then I really like Chase, but that's just because, like, where? Da 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 da. Well, I clicked your name and then oh, here it is. There, boom, done, cool. Wait. Did that work? I don't know. Who cares? I think what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna play some grand strategy for a little while, and then once you guys get bored, let me know. Because I've been playing a lot of Uni Command 2. It's really good. We could talk a little bit about like actual, like overall strategy, which is always fun. It's a fun topic for everyone. This is a well, clearly it's a World War II World War II sim. It's pretty fun. I'm like right in the middle of the Eastern Europe campaign. Operation Market Guarded was very interesting. We had completed Operation Overlord, which was the simultaneous naval invasion of all of France, and then we pushed into the innards of the French countryside, which was known as the Battle of the Bocage. And a bocage is those hedges, those are that were just all over the countryside in France. And the Germans would hide as many like anti-tank and artillery pieces as they could in these rows, and they would just take as much shots on the advancing allies as they possibly could. And it was about like a good week, 2 weeks of pushing through until we finally got to Paris. And then the second we got to Paris, it was just this mad dash across all of France. Antwerp is the largest port in Europe at the time, and so the second we succeeded in capturing that, we were able to unload all of the free armies that were staging in Great Britain into Europe. And what had happened is by the time we got our major forces onto the European continent, we started to hit like a bit of a slack. Like we were hitting more and more German fortifications, and when we got to right about here, everything kind of slowed down, and the overall logistics of the Allies were stretched very, very thin. And essentially what happens is this guy, Field Marshal Montgomery, he decided the best course of action would be to airdrop a ton of supplies into the countryside, right? And we would take those supplies and continue to push. So we didn't have to wait for all the trucks and trains, et cetera, coming from Antwerp to push in. And the idea was, it was sort of political as well, because the Army Air Corps was just established, and a lot of people were really trying to prove that an Air Force was a valuable asset, not just for like air combat and observation, but also strategically, right? So a lot of people were politically pushing to demonstrate how air power could be used as a logistical means as well. So a lot of political decisions behind that pushed for Operation Market Garden. The problem with Operation Market Garden was it ignored all intelligence of the time. Like everyone was saying, hey man, there's a lot of tanks over here. The Germans are closer to the landing zone than you think, and you're about to use this unproven glider technology to try and supply one of the largest pushes in history. So this is probably not going to work. But again, for the political reasons, it was pushed anyways. So we're gonna just jump into this mission, and I haven't done this one yet, so I'm probably gonna make a ton of mistakes, and we'll roll through the end. This game is I like this game because it focuses heavily on the overall large unit maneuvers rather than just the combat. So Chaff was like the supreme headquarters allied something forces or something like that is kind of what Chaff was. So it was basically the combined effort of Great Britain, UK, Free Poland, Free France, and us. And it did not include the Russians. They had their own front, and they belonged to a different joint of commands, but that's basically what Chaff is. So basically, this is just kind of sort of the scenario briefing for this mission. Your armies are all just fast approaching the borders of Germany, but it is proving difficult to supply all of them simultaneously. As such, Schaeff has authorized his daring attempt to secure the crossing of the Rhine. You will launch 3 airborne divisions behind enemy lines. Their mission is to secure all bridges along the road that leads to the final bridge across the Rhine at Adenherd. And then this will tell us about the reinforcements. There'll be some coming up. So, right off the bat, this is kind of sort of, these are the German units. These are our airplanes that are going to drop off dudes. These are the German supply depots. If I click this, you can see our supply depots. This is a very tiny map. Now that I, like, this is the hard borders. So this is the map, well, entire one. Usually they're like, the maps will spawn the entire thing. So this will be a quick mission. As you can see here, these are our main objectives. So we're going to try and take Eindhoven. I don't really speak very much German. And then Nie Germagen. Again, bad at German. So this is basically German. This is France. So we're gonna push right through to the best of our ability. Um, and then these are our secondary objectives. And we have to do these secondary objectives relatively quickly, like Osterbeek and Rosenbeek. Both of these need to be done by turn 2. So, where are they? Wait, how far do we... So I might actually have to... It might be best just to land these guys on there. So right now we're in the pre-deployment stage, and that's when my army will be able to reinforce these dudes. So, first thing I'm going to do is just click this, click the reinforcement. I have 2 UK armor, but both my armors are full. I got this much money to spend, so these guys... This is our 15th British Division. They have a quarter pounder, which is a tiny little artillery piece that's towed, right? And then this is a 25 pounder, which is a 25-pound cannon that is also towed. So that's pretty good. I can give them a bunch of different crap. Like I can give them 2 different like combat vehicles. I can give them a scout vehicle. I can give them more artillery pieces. I can give them commandos, so they're better at doing stuff. This one I'll probably have to buy stuff. You always kind of want everyone to have artillery pieces, because then they could do suppression attacks. Probably want a priest on that. And then they already have... This is 25? It's a priest. It's a 2. Okay. The priest is a self-propelled artillery piece. So basically it's a tank, but instead of a tank turret, it's a cannon built into it. So it's self-propelled. Hopefully you could. Hopefully you could change my genre. I don't know where. Good luck finding it. What are these? Just amphibious engineering. We're going to need those probably. Alright. Can I? I can't. So this is turn 1 now. And really the idea is these guys are going to form a line, and we want to try and capture these supplies as quick as we can, so the Germans run out of fighting ability. So what was the 2 we needed by turn? Obstin. So these guys will obviously come here. So that gives us an extra paratrooper drop, which we're going to probably use in a second. Alright, cool. And then I'll use... So now we're going to be sneaky and just straight. So now we can have a look at the German supply route. If we can try and push along this road here, we'll be able to cut these units here off entirely, and then eventually they'll just give up and run away. Okay. We could get another... Alright, so someone's obviously guarding these 2 spots. Do I have to hold them? No, I just have to take them. I always want to take... Alright, we'll do some moves first. So these guys are now partially surrounded. I will just pop them off. And then, okay, so up here you can see when I hover over, up in that top corner you can see the odds. So the little yellow dots are my units, and the blue dots are the German units. And this little attack will essentially the estimation will be like it will wipe out 2 of them and I won't lose any. That's why it's like 0 to 2, which is pretty good odds. Usually they're not this high. Usually you have to like spend a few turns softening them up. Like this will be 4, so this is a bad attack. I'll lose 4 entire units, and they'll probably lose 1, or they probably won't use 1. So these guys I'll probably use my artillery pieces to suppress them a little bit. So now those little gray dots, they can't attack. So I could just bring my tank up, push them off, and they'll pull back. And now I can move these guys around in, attack, and then every once in a while your HQ will get upgraded, and then you can get cool stuff. So these guys will get another attack, and I want to keep pushing the line on them, because again, we want to try to capture this round. Because the idea is to try and surround as much of the enemy as you can, so then you can slowly chip away at them. So then we'll try and pin these guys down. Oh, wait. So just suppressing 1 unit usually really affect the odds. And then if I suppress these guys this turn, they can attack me on their turn. We'll push this to obscure the line. I'm going to check my... That's theirs. This is mine. So all these spaces are getting... But these guys aren't going to get anything. So we need to connect this as fast as we can, so these airborne units will get supplies quickly. So, easily fixed by just doing that. Boom. Now these guys are in our supply zone. They're in our command range. Alright, just making sure no one can get supplied. So that's perfect. And then I might use move the army up a little bit to keep pushing. So these guys are back here. This might be a problem. So we have 1 bombing asset, and yep, definitely a waste. So if I could make these guys run, I would definitely would have. But I'm going to give them a turn. Hopefully they'll entrench. They can fight this off, and next turn have them start running away to try and connect back to the supply line. That's really all I can do this turn. Oh, wait a second. What? Oh, if I can push them off. Well, that's... Okay. If I can push them off, I can definitely get there. So let's waste this. That was unlucky. That was very unlucky. So these guys are lost in time. Maybe you should have just landed them on the supply. How's that? Is that better? I mean, I could boost my mic, but then you'll probably hear more static. There we go. We'll slowly take over this road. These guys have their artillery piece, so they'll... Alright, I'll hold them there. These guys are running out of supply. They're also out of range. So those guys did die. Okay, well, can't say that I'm surprised, because they were definitely in a bad place. Now, on one hand, does holding this road cut them off? It cuts this off entirely from going this way. But this is still getting supplied by this, so it's almost, I should probably just move these guys into the woods, because then I can start to slowly move this way. These guys aren't going to go anywhere. They're being locked down by a tank and these two dudes. These guys, they come over here. We can get this connected, and then they'll get their supplies. I'm going to move the 2nd Army HQ up a little bit. I want to put it in this city when I capture the city. That's the idea behind it. Okay, I mean, again, all I can do this turn. Not very efficient. We're probably not going to take Graves by turn 3. It's probably not going to happen. Sometimes the AI makes weird choices. That was the most efficient attack I've ever seen the AI pull off. So these guys are going to get supplied again. I'm just going to move right on to them. So they made a critical mistake by putting this weaker group here, because now I'm just going to cut this entire army off. These guys are going to come right back into the fight, and I'm just going to be able to really hoping they retreated. Ooh, that was bad. They're really holding on. So I got this guy reconnected. So I'll have him retreat the second they attack him. Then they'll waste their attack on him. Is the idea behind that. Is it turn 3? Yeah, I knew I was going to be able to take Graves by turn 3. I'm probably going to lose this mission, to be honest with you. That was a really good counterattack that he pulled on me. See, because now he's going to cut me off. The only problem is he's really depending on hoping that that will be enough to finish me off. But if I take Ivan, this tank is out of supply. And then I'll have this source of supply right here. And I could always just do this. So now he's cut. These guys are all doomed, basically. So now I have to, now I have to like switch focus on the rear. So, in one way, good job. He's definitely going to be pulling off. Oh, got to overrun. That's pretty good. But I'm going to continue to be as aggressive as I possibly can on him. Oh, this is bad. The fact that he was able to cut me off like that. That's really going to slow down my entire advance. Okay. Let's hit me here. What I really needed to do is get rid of this dude so I could have free supply coming back up again. Because the next turn I'm not going to be able to supply anyone. So GG on that, I guess. But I'll just lose. Oh, good. So, alright, cool. This tank decides it's going to attack 3 times, but that's not going to help me. Get everyone back in supply there. I just have maneuvers now. Because my HQ is out of supply. So, yeah, I wanted to demonstrate how to do, complete surrounds, and the enemy did a good job of showing how to do complete surrounds. Basically making me lose the whole game. Everyone will get supplied next turn, and we'll be able to finish off. Really, what you gotta do is secure this bridge as fast as you can, so he can't draw you into to a cutoff like that. That poor tank unit. Oh my gosh. You know what I forgot to do last round? I forgot to bomb something. That's actually really how America won the war, was we just had so many freaking cannons. We would just non-stop bomb things. Those guys are dead. Yeah. What a disaster. Just like the real market garden. This is actually exactly what happened in Operation Market Garden. We landed a bunch of stuff. There was two full entire German divisions that just showed up and just capitalized on the fact that everything landed in the wrong spot, and then basically put it into this awful slugfest. No, he uses way too much. Didn't want to attack that unit. Did I have? Yeah, so I basically lose next turn. There's no way I'll be able to capture that. Yeah. Realistically, maybe I should have dropped my entire air paratroopers down over here on this back line, and then they could have pushed hard for Deline, and then I could have got these reinforcements, and then we could have pincer moved between the two as quickly as possible. I think that would have probably been the best way to do it. Yep, and that's the end of that. That was quick. So that's about an hour and a half. I think I'm gonna call it there. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Love you all.